Hello folks, Joel Turner here with Ironmind Hunting. In the last video I talked about being a good student in shooting to become a better, more accurate shooter. Today I want to talk about being a good student in elk calling. I'm a two-time world elk calling champion with the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation in the professional division. In the last, since 2006 I've been in the top 4 in the world as far as professional callers goes. But that doesn't mean a whole lot in the elk woods. That just means that I can perform on stage. But in the elk woods, I had to become a better student to get proficient at actually calling in numerous bulls. And what I mean by becoming a better student in elk calling is you have to think one level deeper. Just like in your shooting, you have to think one level deeper to become that elite archer. In calling, if you want to be an elite elk caller, you need to think one level deeper. In this short video, I want to give you a piece of advice that I wish I had years and years ago. But I didn't have it because I was not a good student of elk. But now, in the profession that I have now, I'm a police officer. So I get to see people at their best and unfortunately people at their worst. But people at their worst teach me things about elk calling. I'll tell you what I mean. One level deeper means that I now see mammal intuition. I get to see primal forces in people, just as we see primal forces in elk. The best piece of advice I can give you to being a good student of elk is to not try to think like an elk, but think like a mammal. I go to a lot of fights between two human males. What are those fights always over? They're always usually over a lady, right? So it's usually not two males getting together and saying, "Hey Bob, well let's just knock each other out today." It's usually over a lady, and it's usually because Bob said something to this male's lady. But in elk calling, we try to reverse this nature. Many people will go in and they try to get close to a herd bull, and they try to cow call that bull out of the herd. And they say, well, you know, the bull should be coming in, but sometimes the bull rounds his cows up and takes the cows away. I don't think that's necessarily true. The science behind that is mammal intuition. When was the last time you heard a bunch of human females get in a group and talk nicely about another female that wants to procreate with their man? Doesn't happen, right? So if you get in close to a herd of elk and you cow call, it's the cows that usually take their bull away. They don't want him playing with the hussy in the bushes. So they will take the bull away. On the flip side, if you get close to a herd of elk and you blow a challenge bugle, let's say you get close to a herd and you do something that sounds like this. If you do something like that, you're going in and you are challenging the bull. Well, just like two male humans don't usually just get together and duke it out for no reason, you haven't really given that bull any reason to come over and fight you. You know, bull elk are lovers, not fighters. They only fight when they have to. But if they have a chance to take those cows away, they will do that. Why wouldn't they? So let's put it in human terms. If I was, say, 100 yards from another male in a parking lot, and I yelled at that male, "Hey, I'm going to come kick your tail." The other male would instantly start to size me up and think of options, fight or flight. Should I stay? Should I go? is this person crazy, whatever. That other male is thinking of options. But if that other male was there with his wife, and this wife gives him a child every year, and their whole goal is the proliferation of their species. Now we're 100 yards apart, and I only talk to the wife. That is going to be a whole new level of aggression from that male. He no longer has options. If I go in and say inappropriate things to his wife, that's going to make him agitated, and that's going to make him come to me. He no longer has any options. He has to remove me from that situation. Otherwise, he's going to lose his female. That's a much stronger instinct than just trying to go in and challenge a bull. So, how do we go in and talk only to the ladies? And that's where the bull calling cows bugle comes in. And I've got a short video clip that I'm going to show you of a bull doing this exact bugle. In this scenario, I was doing the bull calling cows bugle with another bull. And I actually called that bull in, and I shot at him thinking that I had lethally wounded him, but my arrow hit a limb, did a big corkscrew, and just slapped his side. No blood, no nothing like that, but I had thought at the time that I had lethally wounded this bull. And I could hear another bull coming in. So I got out my camera and I filmed this next situation that you're going to see. You'll hear the first few bugles that he does are very, very aggressive. He's trying to push the other bull out. But then as he comes into 20 yards broadside after I have cow called. Because I was just trying to call him in. I didn't know if he had cows or not, so I was just kind of trying to get some footage. But when he comes in, his attitude completely changes. He comes in, he looks for that other bull, and he doesn't see it. And then he does the bull calling cows bugle. That's how nature works. The bulls try to call the cows to them. If you go in and cow call to a herd bull, he will do this bull calling cows bugle back to you. So you hear this bugle, and then as he's searching for me, because he thinks there's a cow there, he'll do it again. It's very short, shrill at the start, and raspy at the end. I have called in 24 herd bulls in the past 3 years in 4 different states using this one sound. I get in close to the cows, and then I only talk to the ladies, because that gives that bull no option. He has to remove me from the situation. That sound is this. It's very short, it's shrill at the start, raspy at the end, no chuckles. No chuckles involved with this. I get that rasp by sputtering my lips through the call. That's what it would sound like with no bugle tube. So watch this video clip and watch what happens. You can see the attitude of the bull change. And then as he's walking around me, he gets to 15 yards. And at 15 yards, he does what I call a search bugle. It sounds like this. You'll hear those bulls do that as they get close. You know that if they do that, they're coming. So the scenario is, again, find that herd bull with cows. Don't be afraid to try to call that bull in. He's the easiest bull in the woods to call in. Get close to his cows. I try to get within 50 yards of those cows, and then I get everything ready, arrows nocked, whatever I need, feet set, and then I do the bull calling cows bugle. They come in the same way every time. They get all stiff-legged, puffed up, and they walk right in. There are no hang-up spots associated with this, because when that dude is coming across the parking lot at me after I've talked to his wife, there is no hang-up spot. He doesn't stop to think about it halfway across the parking lot. He is committed and comes all the way. Folks, this is the best piece of elk calling advice that I could give you. It has been a phenomenal system. Get close to the cows. Try to get within 50 yards of them. Bull calling cows bugle, and then he comes in and wait for the shot. He is now hunting you. So folks, I teach tips like this and many others. I have a lot of different classes that I teach. I teach an instinctive elk calling course. I teach my target panic and shot control clinic. I teach a tactical bow hunting school for those DIY people that want to have a do-it-yourself elk hunt. We go through the entire calling system and the shooting under stress system to get people out of target panic, out of buck or bull fever, whatever you want to call it. And then I also have a guide school where an outfitter would bring me in to teach the guides how to use this calling system so that they can stay with their client instead of having to separate. Now the guide can stay with the client. And more importantly, when they're with that client, they can now manage that client as far as mentally manage that shot. Because many guides I talk to are dealing with a 50% miss rate. That doesn't have to be. If you separate from your client, there's no way that you can manage them, and they're left to their own devices. Depending on the experience level of that person, it may go well, it may not. It's 50-50. Why not have that person right there with you and know how to manage their stress level? Tell them when to start their tactical breathing. Use attentional cues to get them to press through that trigger or pull through that shot perfectly. That gives the guide and the outfitter a lot of power in that situation. But we need to know it. It's a knowledge base that needs to be had. So those things are available at ironmindhunting.com. If you need to email me, Joel@ironmindhunting.com. We'll see you soon. Thanks.